Okay, welcome everyone. We are probably going to make this relatively short. This is just an opportunity, one last chance to connect with the civil engineering majors out there, or anyone else that's interested in civil engineering. And then we also have the dean, and we're also joined by Dr. Rab, who's the department head of mechanical engineering. So if you're interested, maybe in mechanical engineering, or you're kind of between civil and mechanical, um, we'll definitely take questions from everyone out there. Um, so really today's format is going to just be open-ended, and so it's going to depend on the questions that you have. As we've always said in the past, if you have any questions, go ahead and use the chat function. It should be right down somewhere, I don't know, somewhere below. And just type your questions out in the chat box. You also have the ability to unmute yourself. And so if you rather just pop into the meeting and unmute yourself and ask a question that way, we're certainly happy to take those questions. And always, if your question is of a personal or sensitive nature that you don't feel comfortable asking here, you can certainly reply to any of the emails that I've sent out, or shoot a new email to dscott2@citadel.edu. We're also joined by Dr. Jeff Davis, who's the department chair for our civil and environmental engineering, as well as our construction engineering majors. Dr. Davis, if you want to chime in with anything to add.
Yeah, so welcome everyone, and we're looking forward to having you here in the fall coming up. We're making preparations and getting our building all freshened up, and looking forward to having you in our program. And I actually have a few slides that I could show. I don't know, that would kind of give a little bit of a preview of what students could expect, and maybe some questions would come from that. I don't know.
I think that's a great idea, Dr. Davis. Do you want to go ahead and start your share?
I can share my slides. Okay. Find what I want to share. And let's see. And hopefully you can, are you seeing that okay?
Perfect.
So here, this is a picture of the front of Letellier Hall, which is the civil engineering and construction engineering building on our campus. It's classrooms and offices on the second and third floor, computer labs, and then actual laboratory settings on the first floor. We have 6 different labs, and you get a big introduction. So when you take classes, you also take labs that are connected to those classes, especially in junior and senior year. And so I had a few things just to cover. So I'm Dr. Davis, and I've been here a long time. I'm the head of these departments, and we have a great faculty. I want to just explain a little bit of what you can expect, the people you will interact with, as well as the difference between civil and construction engineering. Usually there's some questions about that. And then a big focus that we have on not just learning in the classroom, but getting out beyond that, and these general activities that we call enrichment activities. And then just see if you have any questions that you would like for me to answer. And here are our faculty and staff, 16 strong, people that will help you. We have open door policy. You get to talk to all of these faculty and staff members pretty much anytime they're available. You can talk to them, and they're available by email or chat, virtually, whatever way works the best. But we're a teaching institution, and these faculty members are here to help you become engineers, and you wouldn't believe the energy and the enthusiasm that the faculty have for that. And when you come and take classes, it's going to be anything but an ordinary learning experience. So if I can advance the slide here. It's not working. Okay. And so one question that we have is like, what's the difference between civil and construction? So the first thing I just wanted to show you is that you don't really, the first 2 years are a common curriculum between civil and construction engineering. So you get some time to explore this. And so you don't really have to make a determination until you go into your junior year. So this is something that you have some time to percolate on, like what is the best spot for you, and you get to talk to faculty about that. Obviously, maybe engineers that you have in your family or in your community, but also be good to talk about this. And both of them are good and have some subtle differences and that we would help you figure out. And then here is just a list of kind of what is civil engineering in the curriculum, at least anyway. And we have different concentration areas: structural engineering, environmental, geotechnical, transportation, and kind of what gets covered. Really more on the design, but we're always thinking about how will these facilities be constructed. And then on the construction, really more on, you know, horizontal, which would be maybe roadways or developments. Vertical construction would be buildings. Construction management would involve estimating and project scheduling. Construction site, like what equipment, what kind of methods are you going to use, and then construction engineering skills, things that you would need to know to be able to orchestrate a successful construction project. And there are a lot of design build projects that connect both of these sides. So this is a really exciting area for to work in. Any community that you're coming from, I'm sure there's going to be tons of construction projects going on that would involve a lot of engineering, and obviously a lot of engineering decisions made during the construction process. And this just shows the kind of the components of your activities, your educational activities here. Obviously, campus life is huge, and the barracks lifestyle that you have, the cadet system. Academics are hugely important. The enrichment activities, all kind of things, field trips, projects, things that you get to do to enrich what you're learning in the classroom. And then that gives you a really unique set of credentials in terms of your technical knowledge in the curriculum, your leadership, and then hopefully you would have also had some summer learning experiences, maybe for a construction company or for testing materials or civil engineering design. And this is just kind of a formula of what leads to success in engineering. Obviously, you have to work on your math and science foundation. You hopefully have a good start at that from your high school experience. You go to an ABET curriculum, which we have here. You have to work pretty hard, but it's very rewarding. You add in these extra experiences, and then this formula leads to great career opportunities throughout your whole career once you graduate. And we have a lot of professional societies that we encourage students to be a part of, and there's a lot of learning that goes on. You get to see kind of what goes on in the outside world once you graduate. You hear from all kind of different practicing engineers, go on field trips, work on projects, have community outreach. And here would be some other enrichment activities. This is a study abroad, field trips, going to conferences, presenting undergraduate research, participating in Leadership Day, building a concrete canoe, working with service learning, participating in the Citadel Expo, the Career Expo. Here's a field trip that went to the Charleston Airport, the construction of the new parking garage there. And so with that, you just get to see a little bit of a glimpse of what it's like to be a student here. And with that, we did have some social media things that you can connect and see more stories and understand more. But with that, I would just open it up to questions anybody has. And I think, do we have some in the chat? Yeah, this is from Derek. Okay.
All right, thank you for that, Dr. Davis. Again, we'd encourage you guys to ask any questions if we're being joined by parents. Feel free to ask questions as well. We'd love to take the time to answer those. Also joining us today is Dr. Barsanti. He heads up our our electrical and computer engineering department. So if we have any questions out there for him as well, we definitely want to get those answers out to you ahead of your start with us in the fall. And while you guys are coming up with some good questions, because I know that they're out there, I just want to quickly introduce somebody that is who's going to be an incredible partner with you during your 4 years. If you need anything, we've been lucky to be able to embed our student success and program coordinators within each of our engineering departments. And you have an incredible advocate on your side. I mean, anytime that I'm stressed or I need a second set of eyes, I always go to her as well. And her voice is so calming. I mean, she's got a British accent, and it just helps calm you down. So if you're feeling stressed or you just need somebody to turn to for maybe some guidance and advice, you guys as a construction and civil engineering student have Miss Stephanie Fye in your corner. And I'll ask her to just jump in and prove that she does have a British accent, and say a little bit about herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Fye and I'm your program coordinator in civil and construction engineering. I'm here to help you succeed, and so if you ever have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you just want to talk through anything, I'm here to help you. I can connect you to resources across campus. We have some great tutoring services, we have a great counseling center, so anything you need, I can help you out. So I look forward to seeing you in the fall.
And I would just add that we have tremendous support for students here. We don't just work on our own initiatives. Our focus are the students, and we work very diligently to help students identify if they're having issues and align them with the right resources and help build a foundation of success. Our faculty, our staff do that. We have some graduate assistants that also help in that regard. So when you come here as freshmen, I think your schedules are already being made up right now. You'll have the first engineering class you'll have will be Introduction to Civil Engineering. This will be both for civil and construction students. And in there, you will get kind of a big picture perspective of what to expect in the curriculum and kind of what all our professions entail. And I think it would be just kind of a great big picture learning experience, how to get on track to become a licensed professional engineer, which is really important in our in civil and construction engineering. And then most of the other classes you'll be taking will be your foundational classes in math and science, which will continue into your second semester of your freshman year. And then you will take a computer programming class and also an engineering drawing course. And that will be your engineering curriculum. Now, you have the opportunity to be involved in our professional societies. We're trying to figure out exactly how we'll bring guest speakers here and do field trips and all that kind of stuff, but that's been a big hallmark of our program. And then when you go into your sophomore year, then you'll start taking a few more engineering courses, the surveying lab, geomatics, which entails GPS and GIS, geographical information systems, and global positioning systems. And you'll learn the technology of that and be able to get a job out there in the real world using this technology. You also will take statics, which is a very foundational course that prepares you to go into your junior year. And then you get really fully into your engineering curriculum for the last 2 years.
Great. Well, to everybody that's joining us out there, again, today is all about you and the questions that you have. So we're standing by on taking any questions that you guys might have today. Again, don't let this week go by and still have any questions that you have for us. Again, this is why we're doing it. It's all about getting the information to you before you start with us in the fall. Again, we've got both of our department heads from mechanical, computer, and electrical, as well as Dr. Davis, who's hosting our civil and construction engineering info session today, as well as the dean of the college, or I'm sorry, the School of Engineering that's with us today. Parents, students out there, again, if you have any questions, don't be shy. This is all dependent upon, today's program is all dependent upon you and the things that we can answer on your behalf. All right, seems pretty quiet out there. Again, the conversation with you guys doesn't end today. We will continue remaining in touch via email. You guys will get access to the student learning system known as Canvas. On there, you'll be able to ask your instructors or course facilitators any questions that you might have. Again, we're all here to make sure that you're supported and successful. Looks like we've got a good question from Miss Kimberly Fly out there. And actually, Kim, that's a really good question that we've gotten from a number of people out there, is how easy is it for students to change majors within the engineering discipline? And I believe that's just a simple sign off on a form, and then making sure that your classes will fit into the new program of study. Dr. Davis, if you want to expand on that a little more.
Yeah, and this happens, to find the area that you're the most interested in, and that you have the most career opportunities that are right for you. As long as the student kind of makes that decision in the first year, then the transition is pretty smooth. We have, in terms of math and science, we have very similar curriculum across all 4 of our engineering majors, undergraduate majors. And then maybe even a little bit into the sophomore year, it gets a little bit trickier. Then maybe you might have to take a few summer classes, but there's usually a way to work it out pretty well. But I think that you do want to find where your aptitude takes you, where your interests take you, and not everyone knows right when they're freshmen. And we have a way with, we'd like for everybody that's coming as freshmen to figure out the right path in engineering. And the first year, it really can be made changes between the engineering curriculums pretty easily, maybe through halfway through the sophomore year. After that, then maybe even then, I think that you still want to find what's the right path for you. And all of the program, the civil, mechanical, electrical, all have evening programs. So even if you make this, sometimes students make this change later, and it still can be worked out pretty effectively to allow them, if they have 1 or 2 remaining courses, they can roll into the evening program in like their later years, the 5th year maybe, and then again get a job during the day, and then no one will ever know that it took 1 semester or 2 semesters extra. But finding the right path for you that you're excited about going into, that you will take your passion, your use of your math and science skills to apply to make society a better place. You want to find what exactly the niche that matches your passions the best.
And I can tell you all out there, just by looking at the job market and how in demand engineering is. I mean, we're constantly bombarded by different employers out there who want to hire Citadel grads because they know the quality of the education. They know the content that's being taught within our courses. I mean, we're meeting with heads of different large engineering firms and making sure that our curriculum aligns with the skill sets that students need to be successful. I know Dr. Rab got flown out in a private jet somewhere in Missouri or Omaha or somewhere out there.
Arkansas.
Arkansas, sorry. And we were able to meet with one of the largest manufacturers of conveyor systems. So if you think about FedEx, UPS, Amazon, things that are moving large amounts of shipping containers and whatnot very quickly, we've been working with them to make sure that we're teaching the skill sets of our students to be very successful. We've also met with folks over at Gulfstream Aviation who gave us some really good feedback about putting together cost proposals, not just in a single discipline, but now we're working into our curriculum how to do different cost proposals and things like that, and how to put that together that complements the engineering aspect. So I can tell you, just as an outsider, because I'm not an engineer, but working with all of these different companies and our folks in our Career Center, man, you could not have picked a better discipline to be in the whole scope of engineering. I mean, it's quite an amazing field. And, if I wasn't, as old as I am, I'd probably go back and get an engineering degree now in retrospect. So it seems like there's not a lot of questions out there, that we've done a lot of talking, but again, just so you know, we are constantly happy to take questions after today that you might have. Feel free to shoot that over to me. And yes, another great question from somebody with the last name Fly. So the Fly family is doing great today. Is there help with internships and job placement? Yes, actually, we've got a very wonderful career and job resource. Forget what they're called. The career. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank here. Public speaking. Our career center on campus, and their director, Miss Paige Tisdale, is. I mean, her personality is infectious. She's such a great ambassador to the Citadel, working with so many different employers out there. And I can tell you that there's unlimited amount of help with internships and job placements, especially for engineering majors, because again, you guys are in demand. A lot of students in their senior year already have job offers upon graduation. So when I tell you that you are in the right major or the right field, again, you're going to be impressed with how in demand and how sought after you as a Citadel engineering student will see from employers out there.
And before we move on, I would just add to that a little bit. I think there's so much enthusiasm for Citadel students, what they bring, the combination of technical skills they get from their curriculum and leadership skills you get from the barracks and from the Corps, that people contact the department heads constantly asking, here's an opportunity, students want to do this. And I forward these out to all the students. If we, and almost all of them can be followed up and jobs can be obtained. Many different activities. It would be traditional type summer jobs to other opportunities. It might involve research, maybe surveying type of jobs that working out with private companies. Working, we usually have an internship with the town of Mount Pleasant in their transportation engineering department, with the city of Charleston, with the state DOT. Great learning experiences that really add a lot to your education that you get in the classroom. So, so we constantly involved with that. If you have a particular internship interest, then a faculty member will help you kind of strategize how to put your credentials together, how to strategically move forward and be effective in obtaining an internship of a particular type of place. So our students are in high demand. People that contact us typically in like April, maybe all the students already have internships, and then there's more demand than what we can provide, which is good for us. And then in the same thing at the end of your academic career, there's a huge demand. Students can get probably almost as many job offers as they could manage. And so typically they get maybe 3 or 4, and then they decide between there. But they could get more than that. And because we're a small school, we have very unique, capable, qualified students that really stand out in the job marketplace. And there's a big demand, and you can find jobs of all types that would interest you. And once again, you get a lot of help from faculty and from our staff from the Career Center of helping you figure out how to go through that process to find the type of jobs, type of opportunities that are best for you.
Great, thanks for that, Dr. Davis. So we have a question out there, and I'm sure that's on everyone's mind, is what is the fall going to look like? I can tell you that all of the official communications that are going out is going to be posted on our site that's called Operation Return to Campus. And if you just Google search the Citadel Operation Return to Campus, all the information will be updated live on this site. So the greatest and latest information will be on there. And as we get closer, you can start to expect seeing updates go out to your student Citadel email addresses. So we're going to rely less on your personal email addresses and more on those at citadel.edu email addresses. So you want to make sure that you have access into that and that you're checking that, I would say, on the daily, if not every other day, because again, you're going to receive important information from your instructors as well as public safety in terms of our plans for the fall reopening. But as of now, we're looking at starting on schedule with maybe a compressed fall semester with classes going all the way up until about Thanksgiving, and then you guys going on break and then continuing your studies online from wherever you are. But again, we know we've got hurricane season coming up, and COVID is such a fluid situation that, again, our current plans are to start in the fall as scheduled. And again, as decisions are made, as things might be modified, all of that information will be posted out to Operation Return to Campus. Again, you can Google search the Citadel Operation Return to Campus, or the URL is posted. And because this is such an important topic, I've gone ahead and put that information in the chat window. So if you need to do a screenshot of that or write that down, go ahead and do so. But again, that is the best information that we can offer at this time. And again, as things may change, again, all of the official communications will, from our campus leadership here, will go out via the Operation Return to Campus, as well as your email addresses. So I hope that answered your question. There's a ton of really good information out there in terms of safety protocols that we'll be observing on campus, as well as other ways that will keep you safe here as a student and cadet at the Citadel. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your great questions. Again, if you have any questions after today, feel free to get in touch with us via email. If you Google search Citadel Engineering, you'll see a little contact link at the left-hand side. Feel free to get in touch with any of us. The dean is just reminding that there's a freshman orientation starting next week. It's going to run for about 3 weeks, and we'll have a lot of information on the Citadel, our fall format and schedule as it is decided. But again, in addition to what the dean has said, the bigger picture in terms of what we're doing to make sure that we can start the fall safe and keep you guys safe, and what safety measures are in place for your health and wellness are also on Operation Return to Campus. And again, thank you for everyone for joining, and the time of Dr. Rabb, Dr. Barslanti, Stephanie, and of course you, Dr. Davis, for hosting today's session. We really appreciate it. So
we're looking forward to you guys getting here, the students, and we have a great program, great institution. I would just add that the leadership by our president, General Walters, and our provost, Dr. Selden, has just been amazing as we figure out the path forward. It's just very focused on personal protection and on how we're going to have some of our normal campus activities as well. So you have a great semester to look forward to.
All right, everyone, take care. Thanks again for joining us. And a reminder, we have our electrical and computer engineering and our mechanical information sessions coming up tomorrow and Thursday. So if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about those programs, or you have any questions for the folks in those departments, those will be hosted by our department heads of those majors. So again, we look forward to seeing you maybe Wednesday, Thursday. If you have any interest in attending those, it's open to all. So everybody stay safe, stay healthy. And again, we look forward to seeing you in the fall. Take care.